the conversations will all be glorified for you. In your name, pray. Amen.
Amen. That was great.
Thank you.
Do you want to tell your potato chip story, and then we'll cut in from that?
I do kind of want to tell the potato
Because you
chip
seem
story.
like you really wanted to
I
talk about it.
didn't want to answer
yeah,
that
no,
one,
just tell your truth.
but now I do.
Yeah, just speak your truth.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. The biggest controversial food topic I have.
The weird thing you've been doing.
The weird
recently.
thing I've been doing for the last 3 days.
Wait, before you get into this, is this something that your football coaches are going to be mad about?
No, they won't care.
Okay, because you were really concerned about that earlier.
No, they won't care. But it's not like I do anything that they would be mad about. So, okay, but basically, the last couple days, the lunch at my school's been rough. I'm not gonna lie, and I've been trying to come up with stuff to eat because I wake up so late in the morning because I'm always so tired. So I always have to I don't have time to make a lunch. So we get in the lunch line and I look, and today it was this noodles with just the weirdest sauce on it, and I was like, I am not eating this. So this happened about 4 days ago. So I'm looking in the lunch line what to eat, and I saw these potato chips. I like spicy chips. I really like spicy food.
Like Takis.
Yeah, Takis, Fire Hot, anything. But all we have in the lunch line is Fritos, potato chips, and red Doritos. But all those were gone. So there was 2 bags of potato chips left. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just grab these. And I was like, I just don't even like plain potato chips. I might as well not even eat it. And then I saw this hot sauce. I saw this hot sauce over there, and it's the Texas Pete. That's the best one. And I grab some, and I go over to my seat, and I just start pouring it inside the bag, everywhere in it. And I close the bag, I shake it up, and I just start eating it. And the last 4 days, I've been eating it every day, 2 bags.
Oh, so this wasn't a one-time. You've repeatedly gone back for this.
Yeah, ever since 4 days ago, I've been doing it every day.
Have there been other options of chips since though? And we're going back for the
we're going back for the hot sauce combo.
Okay, there's also Cool Ranch Doritos.
Mm.
We got some Rice Krispie treats. There's pretzels sometimes.
Okay.
But ever since I did this, it's the best one. I actually like it now. If I had it in my pantry, you could give me all those spicy chips. I would choose that one now. It's actually really good.
Okay.
It's different too.
Well, you have that opinion for yourself.
I also can't agree with you about Texas Pete.
Have you tried
It's
it?
Cholula all the way. No, I haven't tried your
We'll
combo.
have to try it now. Well,
Okay.
for one of the games, we'll have to do
we
weird
could do
food
taste
challenge
test.
now.
A taste test.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
It's like that time you had to try hot cocoa and you were
What did I
tasting
say it was?
lavender. And
Lavender,
everything
and it
that
was peppermint.
He was like,
tasted
oh,
like
I know
lavender.
this.
I know this one. It's
The best part is
lavender.
how confident you were. You were like, oh, I know this. Lavender.
The smell,
Peppermint.
it tasted just like the smell. I was like, it has to be.
I believe you fully and completely.
It didn't smell or taste anything like lavender. It also didn't really taste like peppermint
Did
because it
anybody
was
else
really
guess
cheap
peppermint?
cocoa. Everyone else
Oh.
guessed peppermint. Well, anyway, hey everyone, and welcome to the Impact Students Podcast.
We're your hosts, Abby and Julia, and today we're here with one of our student leaders. We're going to hear from Isaiah Dillman today.
Yeah, Isaiah, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Isaiah Dillman. I'm a student leader here at Impact. I'm a junior, and I go to FCS, Fredericksburg Christian School. I love to play sports, play football, basketball, and right now I'm playing lacrosse. It's super fun time. Other than that, I just have a fun time, hang out with my friends. I have a mowing business.
A
Like to
mowing
fish.
business?
I do. I've been doing it since freshman year.
Are you making actual money, good
yeah.
money?
Oh, yeah.
Do you do that by yourself?
No, with one of my best friends.
Wow. So
It's legit.
you just mow lawns?
Right now we're doing landscaping. The whole
Oh.
thing. Leaves,
Bougie.
sticks, take it to the dump.
Wow.
You gotta You got to take it to the dump. That's what gets them. They're like, I don't know. We're like,
That's what draws
It's real
them
in a
in.
we're
minute.
like, we'll bag
We'll
them up
take
and
it to
take
the
it to the dump. And they're like, deal. We'll
Deal.
do it.
I'm not gonna lie, that would get me. That would probably get Joey too.
too.
We'd be
Yeah.
like, heck yeah, you can take stuff to the
Yeah.
dump. Well, a little icebreaker question to ease into things, and also just to get to know you better. So you said you play basketball. Is that your top? That's your favorite sport?
Yeah, that's my main thing. That's what I want to do. I want to play college. So yeah, it's definitely my thing I focus on.
Okay, so with basketball in mind, let's say that you're in a 3-point shootout competition with someone from the Bible. Who are you hoping you don't have to play against, and why?
I'm going to probably have to go with David. Because the slingshot, he nailed him right in the head first try.
Oh.
True.
He must have good aim. He must be a shooter. So
David
I don't
and
think I'd wanna go
Goliath.
up against him.
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Personally, for me, no one, because I don't play sports.
Everyone's just a lose situation. It's
Yeah,
like-
I'll every single person. Doesn't matter who it is.
okay.
I'm done.
Even like the blind people in this.
Of course,
okay.
absolutely. Everybody.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is there
You're
someone you
the-
you do want to play against? Is that your
If
way
you had
of
to pick
saying you want
someone,
to
who
go
is it?
against Bartimaeus, the blind man?
No, even him, I don't feel good.
Not even the paralyzed people.
Maybe.
You're losing against them.
Maybe the man who had to get lowered into the roof before he got lowered into the roof.
Okay.
Maybe that. Maybe. But still, I feel like
Maybe.
I'm betting on him more than I'm betting on me.
You both are making 0.
Probably.
Well, a really big thing that we want to do throughout this podcast and as we talk with you is to hear your story and to hear how God has impacted your life. So, can you just give us like brief overview? What was life like growing up? What are some highlights? How did Isaiah come to be Isaiah?
Yeah, for sure. So, I've grown up as a pastor's kid. My mom's a pastor. Grandparents are pastors. Uncle, aunt, like the whole family are pastors.
So, you're like pastor's kid, pastor's grandkid, pastor's nephew.
Yeah.
Any other pastors that we don't know about?
I don't know.
if
I
we
wouldn't
don't know,
be
you don't
surprised.
know.
From a long
I wouldn't be
lineage.
surprised.
Yeah. Okay, so full family of pastors.
Yeah. I've grown up in the church. I've always just been here going with the flow. Like I've always just been around in a good environment. I've always grown up. I had always had people to go
Mhm.
to if I ever needed anything or help with anything. I've just grown up playing sports my whole life. Other than that, and just nothing much. Just played sports pretty simple.
How has growing up like fully surrounded by church your whole life really shaped you?
It's definitely helped me in a sense of like where I stand, just like my morals and just like how I was able to like grow up being able to like not like getting everything away from like the world, like being like excluded from everything, but like
Mm.
just them being able to separate that and like from a young age just knowing like the right and the wrong, and like when I mess up just having someone right there to like pick me up definitely like has helped me shape my life to who I've become because of like my environment and like the family I've had.
Mm.
hmm So that's like perspective that you have now based on like everywhere you've been, everything you've come. But when you were younger, when you were a kid, what did you feel about faith and church then from your childhood? What can you remember?
Yeah, well, the family I've had and like my mom, my dad, like everybody, that's who I saw when I was younger. When I was younger, yes, I'm learning about Jesus and I'm learning all like the Bible school answers, but like representing Jesus and like faith, I'm looking to the people around me that I'm looking up to for the little stuff at home, like everything. So I see my mom and my dad and I see the way they live and I look up to them and I think they're really cool and like my family. So like that was definitely the first kind of things that were getting me into the faith, is because like I was like, I want to be like that. I want to live like them.
Yeah.
So like that was probably the first things that like motivated me.
Right.
And then through that, I started to become like closer in my faith and
Yeah.
learn the real reasons why I'm becoming a Christian.
Yeah. Because you were surrounded by it, I mean, your whole life, like
Yeah.
from when you were born. Do you remember like a moment or a season when it became really personal to you? Like it wasn't just everything I've been raised in and everything that I've always known, but like I'm embracing this for me now.
Yeah. So at a young age, I think I was in like, it was around 2nd, 3rd grade. I like accepted Jesus to my heart. I got
Mhm.
baptized. Like, so that was when I like accepted into my faith and I made everything personal. But it wasn't till like, I'd say 8th, 9th grade, I became like, this is what I want to do. This is like, I really am going to go like all in.
Yeah.
But so it wasn't till later. But before that, it was like elementary school. I got baptized and I was like, this is definitely something I believe in. And this is what I want to like focus on and
Yeah.
live my life for.
But you were full in like end of middle school, early high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you ever struggle with trying to figure out, am I doing this because this is what I want to do? Or am I doing this because of, I've got this ministry family, or maybe even people have expectations because I'm a PK or pastor's kid. Did you ever struggle between balancing those kinds of things?
Yeah, it was definitely hard for me in a sense. Like once I started to get older, it wasn't like the cool thing anymore. I used to think it was like the easiest. It was the coolest thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm at the church, like I'm like in the background and behind the scenes. Like I know all the people who everybody's like, whoa, that's this pastor. Like you know them. I'm like, yeah, that's my mom. Or like,
Yeah, that's my mom. No
like,
big
oh
deal.
yeah, I'm best friends. Like I'll get to go back in the offices, and the kids are like, wait, you're allowed to go back there? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm with the staff. So like it used to be super cool.
I'm with the stuff.
Yeah.
We're in the same
Yeah,
team, basically.
we're on pretty good terms.
Me and them.
We're like
If you need anybody, just come to me.
just come to me.
But yeah, and then like as I grow up, like real life just started to hit and like challenges were coming and all my friends were becoming the people I could go to that were the good examples for me. And it just started to get harder. It was like, oh, you're the pastor's kids. Oh, we're not going to talk about this around you. Or, oh, we're like, so it just became like a balance, which led me to choose the wrong thing and be like, dude, like my mom's a pastor. Like, I don't care about that. Like, and just start to become a person I wasn't, even though in my head I was like, okay, I know this is what I want and this is still the right thing. So when I wasn't around my friends, like I would be acting like this perfect kid. I'm still the pastor's kid. I'm still gonna be the good example for them. But whenever I'm at school with my friends or I'm hanging out with them in public, I'm like the other Isaiah. Like definitely just two sides to me, like 100%.
So you're living like a double life there. And
100%.
when did that? So you said like faith journey, you really start to get serious and personal about it in late middle school, early high school. When did the whole double life kind of slip into place?
So it slipped up a couple times, just as in like my mom being very always there for me. She's very involved in my life. My parents are very involved in my life, which is good for me. Like where I am now, I'm like, okay, I'm so glad. But in the moment, I was like, I hate this. Like, why? I can't get away with anything. Like I would try to do this or this, and all of a sudden it'd come back to bite me, whether like it's something they heard or they're just always there, so they know when something's going on with me. So like for a while, it's just because my parents were so involved. So it kind of, I would just slip up here and there, like I'm messed up on a lie or like something like that, and like the story wouldn't add up, and I would just get in trouble for little stuff, and I'd be like, okay, like I'd be sincere, like I'd apologize, but like in my back of my head, I was like, I'm not changing, like it's fine, like I just messed up on this. But it really hit me. I was at family camp my 9th grade year, and I was just hearing the sermon. I was not checked in during the sermon like at all. The whole service, I remember I was sitting to the very far left in the sanctuary, and I was kind of checked out the whole time. And the pastor was just kind of sharing his testimony like every person does when they come share at our like the camps, and everybody's sharing the stuff, and I'm listening. But I was tired, and I had a lot of things going on in my life. I had just gotten in trouble, and like I lost a couple friends, and just kind of like I was like, I just don't care about this anymore. Like I'm done with it. Like I don't want to be checked in. And I remember like just like listening to this guy's testimony and being in and out, and I just remember like just something inside of me like moving, like just like listen Isaiah, listen. And I was just like, so I was paying attention, and I just remember he had like a really bad stutter problem and couldn't even speak. Like he wanted to speak so bad, he would go in his side yard, he was telling us, and he would prop up a Bible on his trash can and speak to his neighborhood friends. And like he was stuttering and stuttering and stuttering, like people were making fun of him and he couldn't even talk, like, and he would still just keep practicing and practicing. And then he said one time he was speaking to his friends, and all of a sudden his stutter was gone. Wow. And from then he's always just preached, and he's kept doing what God called him. And every once in a while he said like his stutter would come back to let him remember like God is like, he's thinking to God, like God's doing this for me. Like I still have this problem, but because of God, I'm able to do this. So like, it's not like, oh, I fixed this stutter problem. It's like God. And it just touched me like for mainly like wanting to go into ministry, but also just because like the way he was able to pursue it, like he had a lot of battles and stuff he was struggling with. But he like the way he was able to get through them and like get through it with God. And then I just had something touch me like just in my heart. And I just kind of felt bad for the way I had been living and the way I was acting. And I like talked to my uncle and my mom, and I like told him, I was like, I was just honest with them. I just let everything out, like told him everything that was going on, the people I was hanging out with, what was going on between us, like the stuff we were doing, like, and like it was hard because it broke that relationship, but it was ready to like, I was ready to restart it. Like I was ready to start from the bottom and go up. Like it was time for me to do that. And I just remember like how happy I was to not have to worry about like living this life and living this life, living this life and living this life. And like, it led to a lot of hard conversations I had with my friends, because for a while it was just like, dude, like we know you get in trouble, all right? Like just like coming out, like we know like this is just what you do. Like
it'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
So I was just like, no, Joe, like I'm serious. Like I'm actually done. Like I'm gonna give you, like I was telling them, I told them like I'm gonna change. Like if you want to do this with me, like I'm glad to stay with you, and like I want to be here with you. Like you're still one of my good friends, but like if not, like for right now, I'm not in a place where I can carry more weight than I'm carrying in my own life. So I don't think this is the best relationship for both of us. So like I think I need to move on right now. I was like, and for you, if you want to come with me, I want to go in this faith with you. If you want to change with me, but if you want to stay, if you want to like be like what we were doing before that, and I'm like, I just need to like separate that from my life right now. And it was hard because I lost a lot of good friends that weren't ready to make that decision. But I also figured out who my real friends were that were like, yeah, dude, like I've been messing up the same way. Like we've been doing this and like I'm ready to change. And so that made our friendship stronger. So that's about whenever I could really tell my faith was like all in. I was like ready to go for him.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember that night that we were at family camp and praying over you, and how like powerful, and you could tell how transformational that night was for you. And like that's also, you're expressing that night is your call to ministry, like where you really were like, oh. And how did that feel for you, that like my plans are getting interrupted, God's calling me? Were you ready? How does it feel? How did it feel in the moment, and how has it felt since walking that out?
It's weird because I was very excited that I was feeling that, because in my faith at that time, I was excited that I had enough motivation. I think it built up to me to tell my parents who I really was and like who I was becoming, and that I was ready to change in that standpoint. So I think that call to ministry in that moment there was good for me. So I would fix my faith in that moment. I don't think I was ready to hear a call to ministry. I think in that moment it was enough for me to fix that, but I knew it's something God wanted me to do, and I was listening to him, and I accepted that. And ever since, it's been like, it's hard because like I know it's at this point now, I know like, yes, I know I'm going to go into ministry. I don't know what it is, but through that, it's been hard accepting it because it's not what I wanted. It's not what I want, because I see all my family. At the longest time, I was like, I want to be nothing like that, because I was getting into this really hard time in my life, and I was like, I don't want to be this perfect person, and just like my life would be so boring without like all like just everything. I was just like, I just don't want to be like that. So like hearing I'm going to be pastor, I'm like, well, there goes all my high school teen years and all the fun times and making mistakes. And I'm like, all right, I'm getting this call so early. I was like, I'm gonna have to really lock in right now.
Can't we take a rain check?
Yeah, like don't I get a call like when I'm in my 20s after college, like something big happens and it's like I'm ready. Like I feel a call to me. And I'm like, I was like, so like those thoughts would come to my head, obviously. But like in the end, I knew like this is definitely something I want to do. And it's something I've been struggling with still, but it's something I'm pursuing and I'm like going through, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like naturally it's going to feel like that, but I think it's been cool to watch from our perspective how intentional God has been with your life, and how intentional he's been with calling you early and wanting more for you now than letting you go down this other way or do all these things that based on your person and who you are and your integrity that you'd regret probably. And he's sparing you from it early, and he wants more for you now. Yeah. And I think it's really beautiful because no one's too young for a call, and nobody's too young to use their voice for Jesus. There's no junior Holy Spirit. And he's been using you now. Like you're serving on our NYI council. You're serving on a council in our district. You've had opportunities to preach. Yeah. And like, what has all of that been like for you to have all these opportunities where you're doing more and serving more? And how has this community helped you along in that?
It's definitely changed my life for the better. I remember after accepting that call to ministry, I got back and I kept having these like dreams of me like speaking, and I like just accepted. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can see myself doing this in the future. Like this would be really cool. And like just kept thinking that, and it was like just kind of like making me excited for like what was to come. And I was like, okay, I can see myself doing that. Like starting like writing in my journal like little like messages, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I could do this.
Taking notes, future sermons.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember telling my mom about it, and I remember telling like my Bible teacher I had this dream randomly. It was like so clear. It's like the most clear dream I've ever had. And it was me speaking to the middle school at my school. And like it was like weird because I kind of like blew it off, and I like just like no kids ever spoke at the middle school. Like that'd be crazy. Like I told my mom, and for some reason I wanted to tell my Bible teacher about it. And I told him, and he goes, yeah, no one's ever spoken like someone your age. She'd be like, that was cool. And I'm a freshman at the time. Like I'm a year out of 8th grade. Like I'm basically, those are all my friends. Not a huge age gap. Yeah, it's not like I'm a senior and I'm like speaking to these 8th graders. Like I've learned a lot. I've gone through my high school.
I have so much wisdom to impart.
Dude, I'm like a year older than you right now. So, and I remember that day, it was Sunday, we got back, and I remember I had school Monday, and I got called down to the office, and I was like, crap, this is a great weekend, and I already did something. I was like, I don't even know what I did.
I'm already in trouble.
I was like, well, this is a great start.
This is supposed to be my clean slate, fresh start.
I was like, this is great.
So it's so good. I'm having dreams and visions.
Come on. And I remember going into her office and like she didn't even say hi. Like we didn't even like talk. The first thing she said, she's like, Isaiah, I've been praying about something, and I think we need to have someone like you speak at our chapel. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't know why I've been thinking this. Like, she's like, I've just been feeling on my heart that the kids need someone their age and someone to relate to. And I was like, at first I was just kind of like jaw dropped. Like I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, what in the world? It's like the first like miracle and God working in my life that like I actually
Right.
saw. Like I hear a bunch of stories and I hear that and I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. And I'm just kind of like, and all of a sudden it just hit me and I was just like, wow, that really just happened. Like that God
Yeah.
working through these people in my life for me to get an opportunity like this. And I remember being like, of course, and like telling her like the background and like everything. And I remember after I went to my Bible teacher and I was like, did you tell her like what I would talk to? I thought this was like between us. And
Did
he
you
was
snitch?
yeah, I was like, come on. And like, no, I was like, I was telling him about it. I was like, you won't believe what just happened. He was like, what? And I remember telling him about it. I was like, she wants me to speak at the middle school chapel. And he was like, wait, really? And I was like, did you talk to her about it? And he's like, no. He's like, I didn't, I promise. And then I remember going to my mom. I was like, telling her what happened. And she was just like so happy, like in tears. And I was like happy and confused at the same time. But at the same time, I was thinking, and I was just like, did you tell her about it? Like, have to, like, you told her, right? And-
Somehow she knew.
Yeah. And she's like, I didn't tell her. And like in that moment, I was just like, wow, like this is really like a God moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
It's amazing how fast you said yes, and
Like
God
so
was like,
fast.
"Let's go."
Like, yeah, normally it's like you'll be like, pray, they answer prayers. And it's like, it may not be right away. Just like
Mhm.
gradually pray. And it's just like, okay, that was a day. Like, that was pretty quick.
Boom.
I was like, "No, he said yes. It's
Yeah.
done. Let's go."
Literally a dream come true moment right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't because I was scared. I was like, oh snap, this is happening. Like this is
Right.
gonna
Mhm.
I need to prepare for this. So I remember like the first time I spoke at the middle school, I was just telling him my testimony and telling him, walking through my story and like what I had been going through. And I ended up being a leader at the 8th grade retreat and getting to like grow
Mhm.
deeper into the relationship with the kids I spoke to.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids opened up to me because of like the way I was able to share my testimony and what I had gone through with like the relationships with my friends and like just drawing that line and like wanting to do the right thing instead of just being friends with everybody and like doing the cool thing. And I remember I got to like feed into a lot of the kids' lives just because like they were able to open up to me and like talk to me what was going on, and I was able to give them like really good advice and just be there for them.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. The only hard thing it's been is I'm in a leadership role that most people don't get to be in. And sometimes it's hard to just be that kid again and just be the friends with them. So it's great because I know this is what I'm meant to do. But there's times it's very hard for me, a sense to just be not just be immature, but just kind of like have fun. And yes,
Be
I
a
have
kid.
fun and play sports, and
Yeah.
I still have fun all the time. But it's just like it's the little stuff, knowing like in the back of my head, like I'm like a couple steps ahead, like in my
Mhm.
future that I know I'm gonna do. So it's caused me to like I said, lose friendships and just
Right.
kind of. But it's also good because I'm more mature in my faith because of it, because it holds me to a certain accountability.
Yeah.
If I wasn't speaking in chapels or at people's youth groups, or it would be way easier to slip back down into like my sin, into what I was doing, because I wouldn't have people looking up to me. I wouldn't have people like now I'm in this role and I know, okay, like not only do I want to do this for myself, but I want to be in a place where people can come to me, so I can't fall off. And yes, when I mess up, yes, I've messed up plenty of times throughout
Right.
my high school. I've made my mistakes, but I get held to a higher standard, and it's definitely helped me throughout my life.
Yeah.
So we've heard a lot about how serving has impacted you and really helped you raise your standards for yourself, right? Like
Mhm.
even feeling God put those higher standards on yourself. Could you go a little bit more into that, not just for you personally and your personal character, but how has that impacted your faith in God, especially in moments like, oh, you've been having this dream and now you, through miracle kind of a thing,
Mhm.
God has had you speak at a chapel and you really saw God working in that. How have those kinds of moments, and maybe even those moments where you got to share God through what you're doing as a leader and what you're doing as someone that your peers look up to, how has that impacted your personal relationship with God?
Yeah. It's just taking it to like a whole nother level because I get to see like the other side of things. Like, I'm getting to share like my experiences, my life, and like my testimony, and then sharing what God is putting on my heart when I'm speaking, like at youth groups or at a middle school. And it helped my faith in a way of, it makes it like all the more worth it. Like when I'm going through a time, it's like getting hard. and all of a sudden I get to speak here, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'll speak, and then I remember I'm like prepping for it, and it just like makes me so focused and makes me so excited, and it makes it like so worth it because it's like you're going through a hard time, and then all right, you get to go speak and you get to share your testimony, and it just like seeing the people listening and like being able to share it, it just like it brings up like memories and just like the stuff like in my faith and my journey, like sharing it and just like kind of like relights like the fire inside of you. Like it gets so much easier to do it. Like I'm actually speaking at the middle school in March 26th.
Week and a half, yeah.
So yeah, in about a
Oh,
week. But it'll
from
be
now.
From
because
when
we
we're
posted
filming.
it.
now.
Yeah.
But from now, I'm speaking next week. So like lately, like prepping for it and just like getting my heart ready for it. Just figuring out what like God wants me to say. It's just like it's so exciting and looking forward to it. So yeah.
That's awesome. And as you've been exploring this call and living out this call, how have you felt reaffirmed? Because I think one thing, I mean, I'll speak on my own experience. I was called when I was 10.
Mhm.
And I remember at the time even thinking, what the heck is this?
Mhm.
And then growing up and thinking, there's no way God still wants me to do this, or
Right.
doubting, or, asking for like, God, can you give me a sign? Like what ministry and what is this? So how have you, or have you even experienced moments where you've maybe doubted or questioned your call, and how has God reaffirmed that to you?
So, just like some really big mistakes I made in high school with just like some people and just some actions I did, it really messed up like that faith and like took like a couple big hits, and I remember it stepped me back, and it really messed up like my relationship with like my parents, and that's like my biggest thing. I struggle with like not being liked. That's one of my biggest weaknesses, and just like how I get like drawn into certain things. Just like I want to be liked by people, and that's like a problem I have, and it goes 10 times harder when it's my parents. I've always looked up to them in a sense where I want to do the right thing, and I always
Yeah.
want them to be happy for me. So like when I do something wrong and they find out about it, and just like them being like disappointed knowing I lied to them, I went behind their back and I went out and did this, and it's just kind of like hard because sometimes they're mad, but after they're mad and they're just like, yes, they're my parent, and then all of a sudden they go to a point where it's just like Isaiah, like it's not even us, like come on, like what are you doing? Like what you've been called to. You've been set apart, yet you're still
Yeah.
going back to what everybody else wants you to do and everything you're doing. So it's in those moments where I like hit rock bottom, but it's what saved me. So the times when I wanted to be as far away from my faith as I did, my parents were the ones who were able to draw me back to it. If it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't be where I am today because they've stuck with me. They haven't given
Yeah.
up on me, even whenever I've hurt them and I've lied to them, and without the amount of love they had for me, I wouldn't have been here because they cared so much about me and my faith in my life. And they set apart what I did to them, and I lied to them, and they like, okay, let's restart. Like, yes, there was a lot of healing from that, and there was a lot of like trust issues between them,
Right.
but it's built up our relationship. Like I said, like I had to take a part where I had to just like reset, and I started from ground zero. But doing that, yes, they know what I've done, but at the same time, we're on the same page, and
Right.
I'm building up that relationship with them, and it's helped us grow our relationship stronger because now they know everything I've gone through. They can be here for me whenever they can see I'm struggling. They're like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, I can always talk to them about anything. Like, yes, it might be a hard conversation. It's like your parents, but it's just like different. Like,
Yeah.
I get so much relief telling them and knowing like I can be there for them and I don't have to like hide anything.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been called back into like my call because of my parents, because of them being able to like pick me back up, like
Yeah.
when I didn't have a friend to help me, or when I didn't have someone like telling me like, hey bro, like how are you doing? I had my parents, and sometimes it wasn't like, hey, how are you doing? It's like, hey, we just found this out. But like, yes, after that they were there for me, give me a hug, talk to me, and be there for me, and it just helped me want to pursue that call even more because I wanted to make them happy, but then also they were just there for me and encouraged me, and that's the kind of people I want to be around and I want to be like in the end. So it's helped me just stay on that call and just stay on the right track for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely the biggest thing that's helped me like stay on the track and be recalled into like the ministry.
Yeah. And that's awesome too, to have your parents be such a big part of that
Yeah.
and to reaffirm that in you and
Mhm.
encourage you in your calling. I had parents who were big in the church, but
Mhm.
having even, parents like a mom who's a pastor and everything, and that she's able to affirm you in that way.
Yeah.
And having your parents having such a close relationship with them, where you're able
Right.
to be encouraged and depend on them and be honest with them. You know, like not every teen has that.
It's definitely hard. It's like good. There's
there's
good
pros
stuff
and
and bad
cons.
stuff. Like, yeah, my best friends are my parents, but at the same time, they're like always there for me. Like I can tell them, and yes,
Yeah.
that's good and bad. But even in the hard times, like it may be bad because you don't want them to like know certain things, but like it's also good in my life because I know like they'll hold me accountable more than this person or this person or this person. So
Yeah. That is it's just such a blessing. And it's been amazing to see how they've also really helped you grow
Yeah.
into the person that you are.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you're saying, like they've been a living, breathing example of Jesus' love to you. Like, yeah, you've hurt me, and there's been times where it's broken my heart, but I love you. I choose to love you through all of it, and I choose you, and I want to fight for you and fight for your call, fight for your life, and that's what Jesus does for you. So it's really has been awesome to watch. I mean, we know your parents very well, and to see how they love you and your siblings is really beautiful, and also how you have been so open to all that Jesus has for you, and you're open to change and to grow, and not everybody's like that. And that's a real gift that you have. And I mean, even your faith journey, like we've watched you go through all of it. You know, there's been times where you want to run, and you've had times where you've been completely on fire and I'm all in and I'm in this. And I think like that's huge that you can even talk about, like, yeah, I wanted to run away from this call and from everything he had for me, but I know that this is what he has for me, and ultimately I'm going to choose him, even though maybe it's not what I want, and maybe it's hard. It's still what Jesus has for me, and so I choose it.
Right.
So, like, what's something that maybe that you would say to somebody who's stuck in their faith journey, or maybe they're at the place you were at once where they've fallen really behind and they're lacking, and maybe they've been called and they don't want it and they don't understand it? Like, what's some advice that you have for people that have been in a place that you've been?
I'd say the biggest thing is it's a mindset, and it's also like your environment. If
Right.
if you get to a point where you feel a call to ministry, there's something there, and there's obviously like a foundation of your faith. So obviously you feel something, and you're obviously doing stuff to like grow in your faith. So if you're feeling that call to ministry, I know especially for me, like when I felt that, I like was still that 50-50, like I'm feeling this call to ministry, but also the environment I was in around me was not supporting that at all, unless I was with my family or I was just like this friend or this church friend or this friend. Like everybody else was like not negative towards it because I didn't tell them about it. If I told them
Right.
about it, it would be like embarrassing or like that. So like I'd say if you're struggling with that, I'd say the biggest thing is to get out of the routine you're in. You become just like a daily basis, and like you get on the spiritual high at church, or you get on a spiritual high with like having a conversation with this person. It's like, oh, you get a bit of your testimony to share to someone, and you're like, and you like feel that, but it just becomes like so routine based, it doesn't even become meaningful towards it. Just get out of that. Like get away from it. Get away from the friends who are being negative towards you. In the moment, it's hard. There's times when I was alone and I didn't have people to talk to, or at least the people I wanted to talk to. I always had friends to like be there and like talk to them, but it might have been like just like a fake relationship, or just talking to talk.
Yeah.
But like your friends are going to be the biggest influence around you. I have friends to this day. Not all of them are going to be perfect and like be that same example, but like the influence they have on your life, and you may like try to act like they don't, but it's really true. The people you're going to hang around
Right.
are the people you're going to act like. If I'm going to hang around certain people and they're doing this stuff, or they're struggling with this sin, and all of them are struggling with that, and you expect you're going to be the one to like hold all them up, yet
Right.
inside you're struggling with the same things, but you're going to act like you don't, it's just going to start coming out. And if you're struggling with that, get out of those same routines and really think about who you're being around, and then just start praying, start actively pursuing it. And as you pursue it, if you see like good things coming out of it, and you start to just know more, like as I pursued it more, as I got to speak at different people's youth groups or speak with people and get different opportunities to do stuff, I began to like have a more love for it and like a passion for it. And that passion helped me get out of those certain routines and struggles, because I cared about this more than doing those things.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. Well, as we get closer to wrapping up, let's ask you something kind of fun for this one. What's like a favorite memory that you've had from serving or being in church? I mean, you've been in it your whole life. You got a lot of
I
memories.
know. Yeah.
So what's like something you could pick out that has been maybe just like a really substantial moment for you, or just something that was really fun that you've held on to?
Favorite memory. I mean, gosh.
You have a lot of
I
them.
know.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to
There's
pick.
a lot to catalog here.
A fun one
Mhm.
would probably be like the first time I got to speak at the middle school. That was probably like the most fun because I was like young. I thought I was like really cool. I was like, man, like this is like I'm about to
Wow,
walk
this
in the
is
hallway.
big.
After, yeah, like I'm about to
Me.
walk in the hallway after this, knowing like, yeah, I just spoke on stage. So, hey, I'm Isaiah. Yeah, I know. Just like,
Yeah, I
but-
know. You know me.
yeah.
I'll
And
be signing
then-
autographs later.
yeah.
No big deal.
Guys, I got to get to class. I only have 3 minutes. So.
Oh my goodness.
No, but the most meaningful one, that really like was hard on my faith, but like, biggest memory that I always will remember is definitely, my end of sophomore year. I was on the basketball team, and this is a really long story. I know that I'm not gonna say his name or anything, but just like with the kid on our team,
Mm.
Right.
and like he went into cardiac arrest, and we were at an away game, and biggest faith moment, like to see something so crazy, like so
Yeah.
real that you just hear like stories about, and we were in halftime, and I just remember like sitting there, and he just falls back, and he starts like shaking, and just like I just remember the room went silent. Everybody's hearts were just like dropped, like what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like I don't even
Yeah.
understand. And I remember just like holding his head, and I just remember like the doctors like all taking us, like all the people there like getting us out of the room. And I just remember like spiritual moment, like I've never felt so connected to God, or I've never felt like my team so connected to God. We're all in tears, and we're all just praying because we have no idea what just
Yeah.
happened. Last thing we heard is that his heart stopped and that he's passed away for 3 minutes.
Wow.
But I just remember outside praying with my team, and some of them weren't in a place where they felt close enough, and I remember some of them were just sad, not only because of what just happened, but because it just shows you like life is fast, and like you never
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. And they were
Mhm.
disappointed that like when they were praying, and they just felt like I just don't even feel close. Like I'm praying to him, but why would God listen to me? Because like
Mhm.
so I just remember being there, like everybody's like huddling up and just like taking turns praying, and just I remember just feeling this like happiness and joy, but also sadness because yes, that happened, and I remember we had doctors and people there to help him, and him being okay. But the connection and like the meaningfulness that it brought to those kids to realize, and the faith that it helped them grow in that,
Yeah.
it was just like so like it was hard, but it's like one of those hard things that you get through, and because of what happened, people's lives were changed, and people had a want to just pray and just to start getting better. So I'd say if I talk about meaningful, that's got to be like one of the most craziest meaningful stories
Yeah.
if I have to talk about that.
And it was a moment of even miraculous healing
Yeah.
too, because
Yeah.
you guys are all
Everything.
praying
Yeah.
together, and you think, this is the
This
worst.
Is
But then he's back,
yeah,
right?
good things
Yeah.
came out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
again.
back
too.
to
Yeah,
his
he's even
senior
playing
year, yeah.
again,
He's
which
a
is
living,
Averaged like
amazing.
breathing
28 points a
miracle.
game, going to play at the next level,
Wow.
college, and perfectly okay. No one would ever know what happened to him.
It is wild.
It's
Yeah.
Like that whole night was a miracle.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
because even the nurse that was there wasn't supposed to
Only
be there.
one nurse in the whole building, and she
Mhm.
wasn't supposed to have been there. She was one of the. There was a senior on her team, and she was one of his. She was the mom of him, and she hadn't been to a single game all year. This is the only game she had been to because she was
Wow.
like a nurse, and she was a
Amazing.
traveling nurse, and she was always all over the place. And she happened to get off shift, and she came to that game.
Right.
And I remember the halftime she ran in. She's the only medical person who knew how to use like the AED and like
Yeah.
like basically save his life. And just like all the things that like went into place it's just insane.
It was
all
wild.
the pieces connected.
It was
It's
such a
crazy.
miracle.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, Isaiah, thank you so much for sharing that and sharing everything with us, and how you've experienced and gotten to know God, how God has shaped and called you throughout your life. It's been amazing to listen to you. I've certainly felt impacted by hearing your story. I'm
Mhm.
sure everyone else who's joined us today has felt impacted by hearing your story. Any like last closing things you'd want to share? Just say them right now. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of like take everything we said, just like overview, just kind of go all in. Don't be
Mm.
double-sided. Don't struggle with that pressure of living like two lives.
Right.
It's pressure on you. It's just it's gonna weigh you down. Just go all in, like for sure. Just live your life for Jesus, and I promise it'll pay off in the long run, and it'll help you tremendously. And you'll just get this warmth and like feeling in your heart, knowing you're doing the right thing, not only living for him, but it's going to help you, the people around you, and also figure out what you want to do. Because when you're praying to him and feeling out like what you want to do, you're going to figure out what you want to do for life because he's going to call you to that. And whether it's ministry or anything, but it'll definitely just have like more security in that.
Well, go all in. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Mhm.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Isaiah, again for joining us. Thank you, Abby, as well. You're always the best
Thanks,
to
Julia.
join us. Yeah, what can I say? And thank you all for joining in with us, taking the time to listen to Isaiah's story. We hope you'll join us again to listen to another impactful story in the future.